You're listening to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast, the official podcast of jaysjournal.com and fansided.com. We are the official ballroom chat for everything Toronto Blue Jays baseball, from game highlights to rumors and all the stuff in between. Here is your host, Craig Borden, with co-host Jason Lyons and Liz McGuire. Now let's talk some Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Good afternoon / evening, Blue Jays fans. Welcome to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast. I'm your host, Craig Borden, and we get to celebrate Victory Wednesday. What the heck is that? So, with me, Liz McGuire, Jason Lyons, my wonderful co-host. Liz, how we doing?
Really good. I like it when we win the baseball game. I like it when we win 2 baseball games in a row. I like it when we win 3. But you know what? We got a Charlie Montoya sweep, which is we won most of the games. So I feel good about that.
Jason, how we doing, bud?
Pretty good. It's nice to see them, the Jays really, playing as a unit and putting it to some teams. Obviously it was great to get Vladdy signed this week, super sweet pink suit. It's fun to be a part of baseball games that are meaningful this early in the year. Last year, I think we were so impressed with what they did in spring, and then they took a big old dump in the middle of the street. And I think now we're happy to see them actually coming to fruition, guys playing like they should be. Vladdy hit his first homer. Santander hit his first homer. That thing still hasn't landed, I don't think. It's just nice to see them. It's nice to see dingers. It's nice to see them playing well defensively and putting fear into some teams, which is great.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And why don't we just start with this fact? Because we have technically not lost a series since we left Queens. Just saying. So that's over a week now of Blue Jay baseball that we have not lost a series. We did split a series with the Baltimore Orioles because of the postponed game, but we have now, like we mentioned, split that series, and we just won the series against the Atlanta Braves, who are clearly dinged up. But I thought it was very encouraging, the fact that after we got dusted in game 1, mostly because Austin Riley just is a beast of a man. But it was very encouraging to me, the fact that they put some stuff together over the past week in Blue Jays baseball that has shown that this team is scrappy. They're going to find a way to win. Are they scoring all their runners in scoring position? Not even close. Are we hitting dingers until the last couple of days? No, but there's enough ththings here that are moving in the right direction that just show there's many ways that this team might be able to win a ball game. Liz, I can see the gears moving.
Yeah, I'm just really stoked about the pitching. The pitching's been, and I'm sure we'll get into it later. The pitching's been so sublime, and we've had a lot of fun games to watch. I was at the game last night, and that was just a really fun game. We saw last night was Tony Taters hit a dinger. Yeah, today was Vladdy's first dinger. I didn't go to that one.
Boom.
Day game. But it's just been fun baseball to watch. Here's how I judge if it was a fun baseball game to watch. Get ready. It's really technical. Did a bunch of stuff happen? Yeah, yesterday a bunch of stuff happened. You know what I mean? So usually a bunch of stuff consists of a dinger, usually some scrambly plays, people getting on base, a challenge. Last night there was no challenge, but I do love a good challenge. And there was some booing, and it was just a lot of cool stuff happened.
And it was Looney Hot Dog Night. Just saying.
Yeah, Looney Hot Dog Night. Got to see our friends a couple of times. Even in the promos and stuff like that. And I will say this, to your point, Liz, I think that it's fun to, there's a lot of really good stories that are formulating, who would have ever thought Tyler Heineman would just be he's Captain Clutch. And then you look down the lineup a little bit and who's second. I mean, not obviously they haven't had anywhere near as many at bats, but we're talking about a guy who played his entire season last year in the minors in Straw. And the guy just gets up and just smashes the ball into the outfield and runs his bases, and he's exciting to watch, and he looks like he's engaged. And then, based on average, George Springer is third. If you had bet me $1,000 a couple of weeks ago, those would be the top 3 hitting Jays right now based on average. You'd be $1,000 richer. There's no way. I don't even know if I would have taken any of those 3. And you start to look at the guys like Nathan Lukes and I mean, Kirky's coming on, and Clement is looking better, and Will Wagner is finally, like I was a little scared that sort of he was going to have that big second year drop after having such a good end of the season last year, and he seems to be picking up some momentum right now. And aside from the pitching being great, I think their defense is also picking them up quite a bit.
Yeah.
They're turning a lot of double plays that are close. They're making a lot of good plays that are ending innings when potentially, or last year, you would have seen maybe the opposition score 3 or 4 runs in that inning just based on, even though we got a team gold glove or whatever the hell we got last year, there were still lots of times where a pitching would give up some hits and causing runs. So I like to see the guys getting cut down. It was nice to see, Kirky got his first homer a couple of days ago, and it's just nice to see them playing sort of completely together.
Yeah.
It was a team win 100% in the last few days. That's yesterday. Obviously, it was a team loss the night before then, but I think it's funny, this comment that we got from Michael Borland in the chat, that it was very, what a team, first things first, but it was so on brand for them to lose to Grant Holmes and then beat Strider and Schallenbeck. I've been saying it for years. I don't know what it is about pitchers that show up out of nowhere for this team, but they somehow managed to just blitz and destroy the Toronto Blue Jays. Is it a lack of videotape or bad scouting? I'll give you 50-50 or whatever it might be, but that is 100% right, is on brand that we beat those pitchers. And Strider, from what I saw today, he looked great. He looks like he's the guy that, was on the mound literally a year ago when he got hurt. And this guy was one of the guys that led the major leagues in strikeouts those 2 years in a row. He was a 20-game winner, which I thought was even wilder in the 20-game winning season, that he only threw like 180 innings and still got those 20 wins. That shows how good he was. Yeah, and that shows how good the Braves were.
They're always good.
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah, Braves are good.
Yeah, the Braves are always good. They're always going to be operating in that just below the top tier, and they've always got a chance. They've always got a chance to do something come playoff time. They're always going to make the playoffs, and once again, they're good enough. And I don't know where they find these young studs from, but they always seem to come up with one a year where it's like, oh my God, have you seen this guy? Oh my God, have you seen this guy? And, not only do they just crush baseballs, but again, they're similarly built to the Jays where, they can hit home runs, they can manufacture runs, their pitching's good, their defense is good. So it's fun to watch two teams that are similar like that play against each other. I'm sure we'll talk about this ad nauseum for the remainder of the year, but I think that in the first game, the Jays didn't get, the Braves got a lot of calls on pitches that were really borderline. And I think that what we're seeing across the league is, we saw our first perfect game from an umpire, and I'd like to give him his flowers, but the amount of over 20 missed call games is much more significant than
we lost one of those games because of that. And it was proven.
For me, it's one of those things where this is now going to start to be something that really is starting. And I don't know if the umps are just feeling the crunch of the potential of this or what it is, but they are worse than they were. And when you've got a team at home and you've got a guy trying to pick the corners and he's not quite getting them, which is exactly what Holmes was doing, you can't be giving those up. It's not the way that baseball should be called. Especially if it's the home team that's seems to be getting greased. So you don't want to be a homer, and you don't want to be giving calls, but you also don't want to look so ridiculous that when they go back and look at it, you're like, wow, that was awful for a couple of innings.
Yeah.
Don't need to go home early for that matter, right? The umpire needs a hot dog, whatever it might be.
No, the umpires, they should have to do post games.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll never. That
would be great.
You would never get them. It's the same as in hockey. They've talked about it for years about why the referees don't do a post game. And there would be one, and then their union would go on strike, and you would. They're essential to the game, and they're human, and so error is prone to happen. But it's when you start to see, the sane error, this that's call. Like obviously my kids play baseball, and at this age group, because the kids are throwing hard, and a lot of the adult umpires probably haven't seen the ball thrown as hard as it's coming, we get a lot of calls that are off the plate. Reason being, they think it's crossing the plate and it's not. So these kids now can throw cutters and splitters and all this other stuff. And so they're calling them based on where they think they're going to cross the plate, and they don't. And so the crappy thing is that the established strike zone and the way things work right now, especially with kids, is you force them to swing at bad pitches because they're like, we don't want you to walk. We want you to, well, why? Why would you want a kid to swing at a bad pitch or potentially get called strike 3 on a bad pitch where you're like, you go back and look at it and you're like, okay, that's not even close. Like it's 6 inches out and you shouldn't be swinging at that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's, the struggle is eternal and it's only going to get worse until they reduce what the umpire has to do behind the dish. I mean, balls and strikes should be automatic based on what we've seen. I think we all agree that the baseball was better when the box was calling it. I mean, there's no argument. If it's in the box, it's in the box. If it touches the box, it touches the box. So I'm hoping we don't have to kick this cat down the road and bring up Angel Hernandez and all these other terrible guys. But they've got to get better. They've got to know that a robot's coming for them.
They do.
They've got to get better.
And to that point, we might be still getting the aggregate in general across all umpires of what is still Angel Hernandez in one person. Just saying. So outside of, we're going to obviously talk a little bit more about what has happened in some of those games, because there was a game we also in the recent that we did no right even in winning, and we came back and won that ball game too, which was a nice one with 2 errors even. So just saying.
Yeah, we should not have won. That was a scram. That was wild. Like that's the thing is, like, some games we win because we win against the other team, but some days like we're just trying to play against ourselves. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think the other team even wanted to win that one either.
No,
the Braves game thing, it was like, okay, great. They're just
Yeah.
Right. So Liz, did you happen to find the cotton candy French fries in the ballpark? Because somebody's commenting about that in the comment section here.
Let's have real talk. Real talk.
Answer.
With Papa Craig and Uncle Jason. I made a mistake. I'm going to own my mistake. I had hubris, and I saw this rage bait of a food item on the Twitter. It was like French fries with blue sauce, cotton candy, and I was like, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that. So I did. I went to the Blue Jays game yesterday, and I got the $13 cotton candy fry, and I ate it. And guys,
instantly regret it.
No, the blue sauce was garlic.
No?
The blue sauce was garlic. And so I took a bite of cotton, but the cotton candy gets all hard because it's like a rock. But it's also garlic and sugar. So I had a taste of the garlic and sugar rage bait food. And you know what? It wasn't really good at all. It was bad. It was really bad. And I was like, it was hot dog night, so it compounded my regrets because I was just ramming hot dogs to my face like a champion. But while burping.
That's what happens when you hang out with the Looney Dog Kings.
While burping a sugary, garlicky kind of melange, which is French, Craig, for mixture.
Strong word, strong.
Yeah.
Thank you. I needed the clarification.
Garlic, sugar, cotton candy, and then a bunch of hot
potatoes.
Dogs. And potatoes. So here's the thing.
I'm sure there was no beer involved in this either at all. Right?
There's 3 beers. There's 3 beers involved. And I will say this also. But I started like the game with this food, but like this rage, like the rage bait food. It's like it's not a real food people get. So, but here's the thing, guys. You know what would have been good? Just like put some garlic aioli on some French fries. What if they did that instead? People would buy that. That's like a really nice treat. Anyway, I tweeted me eating it. I think there's 86,000 people have watched me shove gross food in my face in 15 hours. Yeah, that's what happens.
The Liz report from the food deck.
I know. I also put it on the Jaybird watching TikTok.
There you go. Perfect.
Anyway, don't do what Lizzie don't did.
Now I'm interested because I'm going to the first nooner at the Nat on Good Friday. Is that 2 days from now? Yeah. And the Vancouver Canadians have introduced a bunch of new food, which we're excited to give a wheel to. So yeah, there's me and 7 of my biggest idiot friends are packing in a Honda Pilot, and we're going to drive down to the and go clown car. We're going to go to 2 or 3 places. We like stopping right out front, and one of the guys that's going is like 6'7", and it's so hilarious to watch us tumble out of this silver Pilot. It's great. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying the Seas have made a whole bunch of changes to Nat Bailey. I don't know if you guys get a chance. They're redoing this entire one side to add, hundreds and hundreds of extra seats.
Yeah, I saw that.
Really cool patio area and everything. It'll be the biggest patio.
When they sell out every game, you got to find a way to get some more butts in the seats, because that's also more hot dogs. It's a great game to begin with what they got going on in that ballpark. It's beautiful. It's now getting to the point where, like 5 years ago, if you had seasons or if you had extras, you couldn't give them away.
Yeah,
now,
right.
I mean, you can't buy them from the box office for most games, which is awesome. And there's actually become sort of a resale market. I mean, it's nothing ridiculous. Like you're not, there may be $5 more than they were, but the big thing for me is they're changing that whole area. And when that area changes, it'll be really positive for not only Little Mountain Baseball that's right there, which is great. They get the advantage of that, but also the baseball viewing public in the city of Vancouver, which, I feel like it's interesting, coaching and all the rest of the stuff. If you're just out, like, we play in places where lots of people are normally walking by. And I often find myself watching people walk by with their dog and just stopping and watching. And if we're at places with a concession, they'll grab a hot dog and they'll just stand there and watch. They don't know any of those kids. And it's amazing to me how much of that community there is. And so anything that can be extra baseball wise here, I'm all for it. So I'm excited. I put my little tiny social media following based on Liz's ridiculousness. The Seas hit me back up I said we were going on Facebook or something, I don't know, and they hit me back up saying, let me know who's coming, and one of my buddies is an actor, and so I put his stuff in. So it's fun when you get the banding about, and so I'm looking forward to it.
Can I just say one thing? Their giveaways this year are slamming good.
Oh yeah, really good.
Yeah.
I love their social media team.
Liz, if you're going Friday, I mean, I would really like one of those jackets.
No. I'm talking about the Vancouver Canadians.
I know.
He's talking about the
Jays are giving away that night jacket.
I'm leaving town because I can't, because it's Good Friday. I'm leaving the city, so I'm not. But I'll get you one on secondary market.
Or see if you can find somebody that's going and they can just knife me one.
Yeah.
People out there, you people in.
Because here's the thing, Jason. So I go and get the promos, but you know what? Surprise, they don't ever fit me.
I know they fit me.
They're looking. So I gotta mention this one because we talked about ballpark food. So me being here in Rochester, New York, talking all things what they are for ballparks. We have the garbage plate that I've explained to the two of you over this time. They are doing a foot-long hot dog garbage plate, and it's going to be wild. So it's a foot-long hot dog. Schwaggles is the local town hot dog, and they load it up with French fries or tater tots and mac salad, meat hot sauce, and all this kind of stuff, and it's just gonna be a foot-long hot dog of, oh my god, give me.
That's the food I can get behind. It's a hot dog with stuff on it.
Oh, it's a monster.
Don't you get to a point where some of them get like I love cheeseburgers. I think they're fantastic. But I like cheeseburgers, and I don't like to have to shove the thing down and dislocate my jaw to get it in. Like once you get past sort of like putting a hot dog on a cheeseburger, I'm out. Like you're jamming a short rib and a wing and like I don't need all that.
Yeah.
If I wanted that, I would get that. What I want is a burger with stuff on it, and I'm the same with hot dogs. Like a chili dog is pretty much my peak. There's a Maui dog that they have at the Canucks game that I like quite a bit. It's got it's a very good hot dog, and it's got a bunch of stuff on it. But I'm a regular. Put it in the foil and put a little ketchup and a little relish on it, and just bang that thing down.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not into gimmick foods. I don't like when things are sticky. I will say this before we move on. So I was with the buddies at the ballpark, and they're like, I got footline hot dogs. It was a Monday game. And they're like, you gonna get one? And I was like, no, I had a salad before I came. Because I can't eat like that throughout the whole season. Because I'll get wild fat. And I can do Friday
and you'll
night.
get scurvy or gout or
Yeah,
whatever.
you get Friday night
gout.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy got gout by eating too many hot dogs. That didn't happen.
Yeah, you'd be limping to the game.
Yeah. Anyway, so I keep it on leash till Friday nights, and then I go hard. Also, a comment from Dusty: I need the Minecraft hat. That is an abomination.
Yeah.
Revisit your priorities, my bud.
There you go.
My bud, come on.
It doesn't even have Jack Black on it. Oh wait, now I'm just pissing off all the Minecraft fans.
There we go.
So, it is what it is. So when we're talking everything, it says wrong. So obviously the big news is we are finally home for this homestand that we're currently on. The big story in town is Vlad actually got to have, I'll say, the full free agent experience of what it was like to have contract day. I was actually very happy the Blue Jays gave him this experience. To your point, Liz, that suit, bang,
Fire.
monster.
Kick-ass. It was a kick-ass suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having his daughter and his wife obviously with him was even more fun. The fact that the family, I loved that the players showed up for the press conference and were hanging out and kind of like acting like the bouncers, making sure the media didn't go anywhere, almost around the whole place. It was fun to see, and he had all the right things. You could see the passion in his face. It wasn't him just giving lip service. It didn't feel like the "we played great today" speech, I was very impressed that the Blue Jays did give him the red carpet treatment and let him roll this whole thing out and experience that, because this is a big deal.
Sure.
We don't
Huge.
This contract itself, I believe, is the biggest biggest extension contract in Major League Baseball history, along with the fact that you are keeping our guy finally. So, Liz, you had a comment. It looked like you're to.
No, I was just like excited that I didn't even think that they would do that. And then they announced it, and they gave him the red carpet rollout. I'm just happy that I'm happy that this is over. I'm happy that we can move on, and also it's nice to see both sides put the swords down. You know what I mean? Vladdy's yeah, I want to be here. This is home. And he even laughed. He's got a quote. That's my dad told me to I can't remember what he said, but he said to take that organization for everything they're worth. And then he laughed. And I'm like, yeah, that's good advice. Absolutely, you should have done it. And I'm glad that you did. And so I was really happy about that. And I got I don't know, it's just, I know that I know there's a spin to it all, but he wants to be here. He's and I don't know, that's it. It's just, I was happy that we can see we're under the cuddling and we can move on to our building a winning championship ball club, which is where I want to be. It's where I want to be.
I think the biggest thing as well is, and you're right on with what you're saying, is I think the biggest thing of this is, we had Shohei Gate, we had Soto Top, we've had all of these different things. And I mean, I don't consider the three of us part of the baseball media, although we are, but the fact that the media has charged up all of these different things for the fans of the Blue Jays just to have their guts and their everything ripped out. This was such a nice change of
literally handed back to
you. Craig, you are right on. They did it the right way. Everything about it was good. It was kind of campy, which I liked. And, I thought they might even put the hats out in front of him. And he was going to pick the hat that he liked the most and then put that jersey on. But it's one of those things where you guys have to realize, and everyone out there has to realize that there are a number of players that are coming to this threshold in the next couple of years. Bobby Witt, Aaron Judge, and the two guys in Baltimore, Rushman and Gunnar. These are guys that more than likely want to stay where they are. As fans, if you guys think that professional baseball players want to, or hockey players or football players want to move, you're nuts. They don't. As soon as they get settled and they start to be in that city, whether they love the city or not, whether they love the taxation or not, whatever like whatever the case may be, they do fall in love with that city, as we've heard with multiple people that we've had on as pro players. I like Toronto. Toronto is certainly not Miami. It's certainly not Los Angeles or any part of those parts of America where it's, you know, warmer and better taxes and all that other stuff. But it seems to me that everybody was there really, really, really enjoyed it. So for me, this starts to set a precedence. And I guarantee you that Vladdy got texts from Bobby Witt and from other guys like that to say, hey, thanks, man. That lays the groundwork for me being able to try and create a situation where I can stay, I can still get my cheese and you know, move on. So it's, I mean, it's good for all parts of the organization. It's good for baseball. It's good for Canada on whole to retain Vladdy and have him. Now, it would be ideal now if he would move over and play for Team Canada when it comes to, you know, world stuff.
He won't.
I wonder if you could push him to, you know, I mean, we've got a few guys that are coming up, and I wonder if he could, you know, move his way over there, because again, I feel like Vladdy wants the solidification of that kind of thing. And I mean, if he could be named the captain, you know, captain of Team Canada, and they could do some damage in a World Baseball Classic or something. I mean, just imagine.
Bang and fun.
Be awesome.
It'd be so much fun to have him and Freddie Freeman paired up in a first base DH platoon for the, you know, Team Canada. That'd be
let Vladdy play three.
Yeah,
Vladdy three, both Naylor boys. You know, like, I mean, we could put a pretty good team on the field.
There's some pop there.
Yeah.
Look at that guy. He's always hitting dingers on the first day with Tyler O'Neill.
Oh, yeah.
No, Tyler O'Neill. And against us, apparently, because that's just what apparently Baltimore guys do. So, I thought there's a couple good comments here in the on our cheap seats and whatnot, and jumping in. Dusty said the whole Vlad thing. He said this as we started talking about the joy is back.
Yeah. I will say
that flat out.
I will say this. I made a purchase when they signed Vladdy. I also made a purchase. I bought a Vladdy game used signed bat, inscribed bat. I'm pumped. It's coming. Cost me thousands of dollars.
Yeah, that's what to say.
Yep, thousands of dollars. But I was like, yeah, 14 years. All right, deal. Let's go.
Well, but that's the other thing too. Like, think about what that does for jersey sales immediately. Immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
Like, 14 years is a long time. And for guys like I don't like putting people's names on my back that aren't going to be there in a year or 2 years or 4 years. I don't love putting, like, I only own a handful of jerseys with somebody's name on the back of them. And traditionally those were guys who stayed the course with their teams. You know, and for the fans of the Blue Jays, I mean, if they can lock Bo up for a decent amount of time as well, I mean, you're looking at two guys that can start to be generational marketing pieces for the team as well. I mean, Vladdy already is. He needs a little bit better on the English side of things, but I think it's comical. It's comical at this point. I mean, so it's pretty, it's pretty, I would love that. I just saw Michael, the Kyle Drabek jersey. Good Lord. That's awesome.
So I feel like that's a conversation we have to dive into here in a second. Just to
wait, sorry. Who's that man?
Burned you?
Kyle Drabek.
Kyle Drabek is the guy that we got for Roy Halladay when we traded into the Phillies. That was the key prospect in the trade, and it's Doug Drabek's son, who was a Cy Young Award pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates and Houston Astros. So on that note, I wanted to put up one more thing here. That this is the thing that infinitely. There's two comments here from Michael because he's on fire tonight. We don't have to hear about this crap anymore. It's done.
I'm tired
every
of people,
road trip, every city. He's not wrong.
I'm tired of people photoshopping Vlad poorly photoshopping him in their jerseys.
That sucks. Yeah,
that sucks.
It's
over.
That's over with. And then he pointed out the fact that during the presser, Edwin Encarnacion was actually lumped into that whole conversation of being one of the parts that actually helped, quote unquote, seal the deal with Vlad Jr. in the midst of that. I thought that was interesting. Michael's right. He did call out that when he was listing off people to thank for helping him get this deal together, Edwin was in that list. And I'm not shocked seeing the gentleman is actually hanging out in the locker room all the time.
No, and you also have to realize that Edwin bridges a gap. Edwin bridges a gap between his dad and Vladdy. Edwin knows his dad and he knows Vladdy. Joey Bats knows his dad and knows Vladdy. Like there's lots of guys that are still involved with the Jays that know Vlad, know senior and know junior.
Yes.
It's to me, I think that getting key cogs, like, I often find it's funny, often in hockey, you find that the best players make the worst coaches, but yet in baseball, it's the total opposite. The good players make good coaches, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad player that makes a good coach in the majors. We've seen it proven that guys who are pretty good baseball players make pretty good coaches, and there's pretty good players make pretty good advocates as well. So the Oilers are a proven point of, if you drag all of your alumni with you, you will never have success. They will drag you down. The Leafs are the same. They have alumni everywhere, and it just drags them down. You look at the Jays, and the alumni that they pick that to have around the team have really helped things. And I mean, when they brought Edwin on last year, and to have Bautista come by every now and again, and it just seems to me like the guys that they have stop in, help out, be a part of it, are positive influences on the team. And we've even had guys on the show, in the past couple of weeks saying how important those, bullpen catchers and pitting coaches and and every one of them was a former player.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's really cool stuff. And I love that culture piece that they're bringing back into it, because there is going to be that one thing that maybe the coach in the locker room didn't see. You get the right pair of eyes, the right conversation, and unlock something. And I'm going to use Alan Roden as this conversation. Did you hear he was talking with Buck Martinez the other day, and him and them kind of clicked on some things that he was trying to work on, because he felt like he was, what was the word he used?
Stepping earlier, wasn't it?
Rushing his swing.
Yeah, stepping early.
When he came back from Baltimore, he was rushing his swing. So basically, to that point, waiting too long and then having to just throw the bat head at it was kind of how I heard the conversation. Apparently, in the midst of that whole thing, Buck Martinez was just down on the field, goofing around and talking baseball with everybody, as he does, because he's basically the Blue Jays mayor at this point, right? So apparently, in that conversation, some things triggered, and Alan Roden said, "Hey, I want to do this, this, and this." And then next thing you know, he had a great game in the first game of the series. He had another one yesterday where he hits his first Major League Baseball home run. I didn't see what he did today, but he was having a rough go in Baltimore, and he was able to get whatever little pieces to turn it around. If you don't have those veteran presences or another random set of eyes here and there, it's about having the right conversation, the right, hey, you seen you did this, and having somebody like Edwin, Buck, any of these guys around could be the difference in winning a couple extra ball games.
Kevin Kiermaier.
I don't get it why you would not want them around. So what was that, Liz?
Kevin Kiermaier, he's somewhere in there.
He's hiding.
He's hiding.
Double K. So, but anyways, let's talk. I'm wondering, and like I said, I named the title of this episode is basically, I was thinking that all this noise being gone, we've seen some good things going on. Is this a catalyst, a jumping off point for this team to just finally say the cares are gone? We only have to worry about winning on the field. And we've seen a lot of nice things happen. Do you think that this is a turning point for the Blue Jays in this short piece of the series here, that there's at least some of the leftover bullshit gone, that this is going to help the team collectively, I guess is the big question.
I 100% do. I 100% think that not only does it help, but I feel like we were talking about, like what we were talking about earlier with the joy is back. I feel like the pressure of Vladdy's contract, the pressure of a number of different things, the specter of being garbage last year, all of those things are playing on them heavily. And then, you have to deal with the fact that you underperformed big time, in front of everybody. And now I feel like, it's back to looking like, watching guys slide through home and laugh like idiots when they stand up, and, watching guys hit dingers and Santander basically, doing the get the monkey off my back when he went in, get into the clubby, and,
And then Vladdy going Bash Brothers today was actually quite fun. Vladdy came in, boom. I was thinking Mark McGuire-ish. It's
a fun, great game that if you don't have fun with it, it'll roll you over.
It's long.
And it's a brutal grind. And I feel like they're I feel like they're really having some fun right now, and I'm hoping that if they do slide a little bit, or they're not going to win them all, but I hope if they do slide a little bit, they can start to rely on some of the guys that have been there a little bit, like the Springers and the Scherzers, and for anybody who thinks that Max Scherzer was not a good pickup, start watching the game. The dude is great for that team, even though he's hurt.
Still helps a lot.
Chris Bassett is the guy is an absolute gem in the Dougie right now. We've got what I think we always wanted, which was they're all getting on the same page, young, old, indifferent, and I feel like they're young guys.
5 seconds ago.
Look at that, Dusty just crushing it. He gets bonus. What do we give out? Bonus points for leading in. It's cool to watch, and the Orioles had that swag last year, and they don't this year. If you watch an Orioles game right now, they are so similar to the Blue Jays from last year. It's not even funny. They are walking on a fine line that they cannot keep doing, and they're overplaying the ball. They're overplaying every at bat. They're going to crumble. I feel bad for them because they're such a talented team, but they're not going to do well this year unless they can, get the water guns back and get, like that stuff needs to be
off their back.
Yeah.
Have some extra bananas. Monkeys don't cramp.
Yeah.
So I forgot to say this when we were talking about today's game. Did you two know that we broke a franchise record today?
Wait, I did. I forgot. Is it out? Did we get strikeouts? Was it a strikeout record?
Team strikeouts in a game. The Blue Jays struck out 19 of the 27 batters that they faced today. Wow.
Yeah. It was great. It was great, man.
Yeah, I cannot say enough good things. Yeah, when was the last time Bassett got 10 strikeouts alone? That was you talk about wanting to give credit where credit is due. This pitching rotation has been incredible on the starting piece. Knock on desks to make sure it doesn't go away. But outside of the little ding that we got with Easton Lucas in his most recent outing, this has been cruise control for the most part for the starting pitching.
Craig, to your point there, did you watch? So John Gibbons, in case you're not watching at home, John Gibbons is John Schneider is a totally different human this year. He's coaching the way he wants to coach. Like what's his name? Easton went out and he's like you can't fault him. He's locating his pitches. He's doing exactly what I ask him to do, and they smashed him up. And it's going to happen. And the best players, the best pitchers are going to come back. They're going to learn from that, and hopefully he does. I mean, he was on a ridiculous run there, and we all knew it was going to come to an end. It couldn't keep going. So, I mean, I think that he's got Bowden Francis to take from. Bowden's been there. He's had some really, incredible starts and some incredible runs. And I really do think we have a really, really, really hidden gem with this kid. I think he's a stud. I think he's a star.
Yeah, and the one thing that I've been hearing is so let's say Scherzer or somebody gets signed or whatever that fifth starter turns into. They've made it abundantly clear they want Easton Lucas to be a starter. So the problem with that whole thing is I'm sitting here going, we could use another lefty in our bullpen. I'm not going to call the fault on that whole thing is if he goes back down to Buffalo and continues to rake, and then Scherzer or whoever, whatever happens, you still have him ready to go. This is still a team that is rather thin at the starting pitching rotation parts once you get down into the next levels of Major League Baseball. Because right now, if you were going to talk about somebody else having to step up, they're probably going to move Yerod from the bullpen back to the starting pitching and have to stretch him back out because he's looking good now. But I like the role that Yariel Rodriguez is in right now in this bullpen. I think it's actually mission critical to have somebody like him that can eat up some innings when somebody inevitably has that bad start.
Yeah, they've got to get him pitching as much as humanly possible, I feel like. He had a couple of rough starts or rough goes. His ERA was up around 8 or 9 or something like that. And it was really nice to watch him come in, strike out the side. You get a 1-2-3 inning right after that. And you're like, oh, okay. You can regulate. And it's nice. because I feel like he's one of those guys that's just so like everything is just like it's none of this. You don't see him kicking the dirt or throwing the rosin bag, and I think that is reflecting, onto the other members of the staff, young and old, that they, they don't have to worry about every single start. It's 100,000 games. Like you're gonna lose some. Your best guys are gonna go out there and get smashed up. It's going to happen. So you just have to mitigate it and come back strong the next time, and pick the other guys up when they do lay an egg.
Yep. Good deal. So Blue Jays fans, I see plenty of you, over 200 of you in the comments here and everything. Please hit us up. We even got Bob File in the chats. I see you, Bob. Good to see you, bud. But on that note, I want to do a segment that we haven't gotten to yet that I know Jason's been chomping at the bit to do, and that is 3 up, 3 down. And Jason, let's go. We'll just do one each, one up, 1 down. What are you thinking right now for how you want to do this bit? Is that about right?
Yeah, that's perfect. We need we need to get Bob File to get us an intro song, or get somebody to DJ up an intro song or something like that. Liz, I'm sure you've got one of your 86,000 fans that you could get to make us some sort of a jingle, or we'll bring Kenny back. I think the one for me, I'll go with my up first. My up is Ernie Clement. Ernie Clement has struggled, and Ernie looks like he's turning the corner. He's squaring the ball up where he was just missing, up, down, putting balls into the dirt. Like you said, it looks like he's sitting back on the ball a little bit and letting it travel a little bit. His defense has been solid the whole year around. So for me, Ernie Clement is an up. And to be frank with you, I don't have a lot of downs at this point right now. I mean, the team's been quite good. I mean, maybe Nathan Lukes could be playing a little bit better. He seems to struggle.
He's a dad now, so he's got a little time off.
I know. But if I have to pick it down, unfortunately, I'm going to go with him, just because I've seen him struggle a little bit. I've seen him misread a couple of fly balls, and I mean, that's not his game. He's fast and he's a good baseball player, and we need him to be, because we need Springer to have some days off.
There is that. But right now you do have somebody that is on the up, but we'll get to that in a moment. But I do want to mention one thing about Ernie Clement. Have you all noticed his approach in the last week versus how it was in the first week of the season?
Totally different. First
he was
ball
waiting
pitch
for the game to come to him rather than going after it. And I love that about Ernie Clement.
First pitch swinging a lot now and getting on base based on it.
Yeah.
I think the game where he had 3 hits the other night in Baltimore, he actually only saw 5 pitches in 4 or 5 at bats.
Wow.
Yeah. And I like the all white Jordan high tops. I think that's an excellent choice for a shoe.
Okay. Solid.
He gets
Okay, Liz, 3 up, 3 down.
Okay,
there you go.
Wait, I give 1 up because there's 3 of us.
You give your 1 of your 3.
There's
3 of us.
I'm gonna give the most obvious 1 up of all. All right, is Vladdy has signed his contract and hit a dinger, so he can just now focus on playing baseball and playing it well. He
got to wear his own home run jacket.
Always. My down is just I think Schneider's having a hard time, and it's hard to see him struggling at the plate, especially with such rippling biceps. And that's been hard.
So, my 1 up, I'm loving the game that Alan Roden has, and I love those adjustments that he's been playing. I really think it's really cool that we have somebody like that in the bottom of our lineup that can actually turn it up. And I want to say that is my major up, because the bottom of this lineup has been turning it around and giving the top of the lineup a chance. Until recently, Bo, Vlad, and Santander had not been hitting, so it hasn't been, stacking things up. And this is what I don't like about the weighted weird lineup that we do now in Major League Baseball in general. You don't have any way of getting anything on base in front of those guys. And so anytime you turn around the lineup, those 8 and 9 hitters actually got to fricking hit now or get on base. Something's got to happen. Otherwise, by the time the lineup flips around, you don't get to do anything but, oh, yay, Bo got another single. He's one of the top ones in the league right now doing that, right? That doesn't score runs if he's only hitting singles. Yeah. Thankfully, it's somehow turned into 11 RBIs, which shocked me when I just saw that, by the way. I knew he was going to be my up. I didn't realize that just shows the bottom of the order thing.
Yeah, he was going to be my up, but I was saving him.
Yeah, there you go. So my downer, the games we've lost. Fundamental baseball.
Should have won those games, bud. You should have won the games. We could have won those games. We could have had them be W's. Yeah, some of it was bad umpiring, but the fundamentals, just like you're saying, out the door.
Yep, I agree.
Base running has always been a problem for this team.
Whoops.
The little oopsie dropsies, not being in the right place at the right time when it's regular pitchers fielding practice stuff. Some of the times it seems like we can't win ball games extendedly like that. And I get that there's games that have lapses. I was glad that actually some of those games, it all happened at once. And then they went back to can't do that again. And then you get what we got the last 2 days against the Braves. So there's a win there too. But I like I said, it's been a focus problem for the Blue Jays over the last 2 years. Is fundamental baseball at certain points. And they don't always show up on a score sheet as an errors. Go ahead, Liz.
One of my favorite quotes of all time is somebody said it on Twitter, and I laughed about it for it's been 12 years. I'm still laughing. Which the quote was, "He may be Joey Bats, but he sure isn't Joey Base running."
That is a valid point. So, Liz, I got on a wonderful one for I'm sure you already saw in the content in the cheap seats. That is a pretty good one up and one down. Just saying.
It's purple. It's my hat.
It is a wonderful hat. Is that the Big League Chew one still?
No, that one's. This is
a new one.
It's apparently it's grape flavor.
I did not see that.
It's grape flavor.
Ooh.
I don't know what this means. It's got a nice World Series patch, and it's.
Is it scratch and sniff?
I wish.
It looks like it's one of those things.
Yeah, I wish.
Well played. So, Blue Jays fans, we're going to play our little fun game here and have our last outs and stuff here. But make sure you hit us up with those questions and comments here in the last 15 minutes of the show. Go ahead, Jason.
I was going to I had an interesting little quip before we roll into the picks to click, and I know we all got to get going. Did you guys know, other than Mario Rivera, do you know who the other person that wore 24 was? Or sorry, 42 was, and 42? Who started this whole entire thing?
Wait, was it Ken Griffey Jr.?
It was.
Let's go.
I watched the whole story this week, and I mean, I had an inkling about, sort of the whole story, and to listen to Ken Griffey tell it, and listen to the other players in the league, not only from that time but from now, even to talk about, not only Ken's, his influence on the game, but to just know that he, when MLB said, yeah, we'll let you wear 42, and he said, can you reach out to Jackie's wife, and find out if it's okay. And, when the league started to want to do it, he was like, no, this isn't our decision. Jackie is above baseball. You need to, talk to the family and make sure it's okay. And I just, as a guy who just loves the hell out of baseball, I thought it was just such a cool thing to, I saw some highlights where he was wearing 42, and I was like, I don't remember him ever wearing 42. And I guess
he was
on
Jackie for a million years. That's the whole point.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I thought that was cool.
I guess that was part of it.
Yeah, I was. So I've been I usually go to Jackie Robinson the game every year. And oftentimes the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame will put out Jackie Robinson merch. They should do a giveaway and make a big deal of it. But this year it landed on Hot Dog Day, so they're like, they didn't do anything. Like the Jays didn't do anything.
Did somebody eat 42 hot dogs?
No, I mean 42,000 maybe. But I was just like, really? You can't do have a speech in front or something?
Yeah. It's interesting to me too, because I honestly, was it just me, or was the Blue Jays home jerseys in that little bit of a throwback? Like they looked a little bit more cottony and everything the other night. It wasn't like they were the weird stuff. They looked thicker to the point where they looked like an actual from the time frame a little bit instead of it just being a 42 jersey.
Yeah,
it looked a little.
I think it was the number,
and I was like,
Craig, to be honest with you, I think it was the number.
Plate.
It has no nameplate, and it doesn't have the break in it. It was a solid number on the back of a Jays jersey, and it was thicker than normal.
Maybe that's all it was.
And that my son actually said it to me when we were watching. He was like, "Why do their numbers look so funny?" And I was like, "Oh, there's no line in it, and it's supposed to be the 42 look like the Dodger 42. It would be my guess, but cool.
Yeah.
Okay, picks the click.
Fun
Let's
stuff
go, baby.
anyway. Picks to click. So I got to sort my stats here and see if we get any tie-breaking fun here, because we're going to have to pick out one, because Mr. Scott Belford was not able to make it tonight, because right now, guess where he is? He's on the Fan 590, repping up his wonderful fun time that he's going to have tomorrow night. So I'm going to be here to at least be the hype man, and we can hype woman, hype man again if we want to do this.
Let's go.
Scotty does a great job with the Walk-Off podcast and doing a baseball town thing. So make sure you join in and get your last-minute tickets. Go, Liz.
Okay, Baseball Town. They always have pretty good media guests. Actually, awesome media guests. Keegan Matheson. I think Julia Cruz is there. I don't think Keegan's coming this month, but it's monthly at Comedy Bar at Dovercourt and Bloor. It is a good time to just drink, high five, chug beers, and just shoot the shit about baseball. Sometimes they have past players there, and it's a really fun monthly event. It's Thursday. It's tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Comedy Bar, Dovercourt, and Bloor.
I'm looking forward to making more of them after this one. So we're going to figure that out, Liz. I don't care if I had to steal Scotty's couch, too.
There you go.
So, anyways, but check out that event. We will get Scotty rescheduled and back on this show again. Next week, though, before I forget, we are going to have Blue Jays dad on the show. So we're going to have one of our favorite good buddies on the show that has not been here in a hot minute. So we're going to catch up with him and see what's going on. But let's go to Picks a Click as we were going here in a second. Liz, last week, you unfortunately had George Springer. So
did I win?
He was doing good, though. Jason, you had Vladdy. I had Alan Roden, and we carried the Bo Bichette in the guest spot last week. So that's where we are. Bo Bichette led the team in hits over the last 7 days with 9 and 3 RBIs, included 4 doubles. Vlad had 6 hits, 6 RBIs. Alan Roden had the home run, 2 RBIs, not enough hits to really be in that. And who was the other one? Springer. Because Springer unfortunately got hurt, which thankfully it sounds like we dodged a bullet there. Didn't we?
Big time.
Oh my God. But watching that, I was sitting there going, how in the world is he in? Get him out. What are you doing? Oh my God.
Schneider's been making weird decisions sometimes, as he does, but that was a weird one.
In my opinion, it was one of those things that Springer probably talked him into it. I'm fine. Go back to the damn dugout. But in that moment, you have to make that decision to get your one of your stars, especially at the moment, one of your hottest players, get him out of the damn lineup and get him back there and fix it. Because after those other 2 swings, I was like, he's gone for the season. I didn't even question it. Watching how he rolled his wrists around and everything like that, it just didn't look right at all. And then, hey, guess what? He's day to day. And I wasn't expecting that at all. So that was very encouraging. So, yeah. I think you might, because I can't argue with a team that can't score enough runs with 6 RBIs, Jason. So I think we're going to put you on the board. So, all right. So, Jason, that means you get to go first then. You just won. Can't pick Vlad.
I'm going to stick with a comment that I made earlier, and I am going to go with Miles Straw.
Ooh, the straw man. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, Liz, your turn.
We all know I'm picking Vlad. That's how I play this game. Every second week,
every second week.
Now that she's revealed her winning strategy of how she came back out of nowhere last year and beat both our asses. I so badly want to pick Tyler Heineman, but he's not going to play enough to beat those 2 players.
You got to take Roden. I think you got to take Roden.
I picked him last week. Do I want to ride more?
Oh, yes,
I didn't win it.
Right.
We can pick him, but I think I'm going to go with Andres Gimenez. He looked angry last night. I'm hoping it. I'm thinking it's gonna. The anger will carry him back.
I like. And just for everybody out there in baseball land, in a couple of weeks here, we are going to have Gary Malik from Birdman Bats. He is going to be on the show. He does want to talk torpedoes and talk a number of other things. And he has promised some swag for some of our listeners. So we will be doing a giveaway of some. We'll do trivia or some kind of thing, and I'll see what Gary's sending it up. We got to skirt it under the tariffs and other stuff to get it up here squeaky clean. But we'll see what we get, and then we'll give some stuff away.
You can mail it to me before I go see Liz. We'll figure it out.
The Birdman stuff is fun.
All kinds
you guys
of
get a
baseball
chance.
cards and things for.
Yeah.
So good stuff. That's really cool. And so really quick, because we had Bob File on last week, and unfortunately, like we said, we kind of had a toss up, and we don't have a guest here with Scotty. We got to pick somebody for Scotty. Who do we want to give Scotty? Who's Scotty's favorite player?
Why don't we I got an idea. Michael Borland has been so on it today. Why don't we let Michael pick it?
Yeah, Michael pick.
Yeah, Michael, you still in there?
Michael, can
drop
you pick
something
it?
in the comments for us for who you want to pick for our guest spot tonight.
But we got limited time here, Michael, or we're going to move on to Dusty because he's been crushing it too.
Yeah. I'm just going to talk about how my fantasy baseball team, the Sally Field of Dreams, isn't crushing it. The Sally Field of Dreams is not crushing. Mostly because I'm
good
confused
name.
about yeah, it is a good name. Thanks.
Yep.
Mostly because I'm confused about the app, so I just pick whoever's smiling in their photo. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah.
You are a sucker for that, the handsome guys.
You know that I am, and it's awesome.
There is that. It's about the Kevin Kiermaier look or whatever, or is it the baseball pants? Baseball pants?
Literally, I know. I have on my team's Jeremy Pena because he's got a rockin' bod. Don't play baseball like I play fantasy baseball.
There you go. So, Dusty, do you happen to still be in the chat here that you could give us your pick because Michael apparently has checked? Oh,
first person. Let's just go first person. First person in the chat that gives
first
us
person in the chat. There it is.
There he is.
Dusty. Santander. Good pick. Good call, Jason.
Thanks,
and thank you for the pick, Dusty. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
So next week, Vlad versus Straw versus Jimenez versus Santander for our wonderful Picks to Click lineup. So that's going to be a fun one. So is there anything the two of you would like to mention before we go off? We got technically about 5 minutes.
The only other thing I wanted to mention is on top of Birdman, we are going to get the guys from Backyard Bats on as well. Both of them played in the majors. Both of them one of them played in Philly, one played in a couple other places. But we've got a lot of opportunities coming up now. We're counting on guys like Bobby File and all the other guys we've had on the show to
Ricky Rowe Report will get back soon.
Yeah,
we got some fun stuff coming up. And if you guys do have a company that is baseball related and you want to get your stuff out, we're more than happy to wear it. We're more than happy to give it away. We're more than happy to do with it anything you want with it. But if you do, you can contact us on our socials. Obviously go to Liz's because she's got 1 billion followers.
No, don't go to mine. Don't go to mine. Stay off there. Stay out of it.
Yeah, it's black zone. It's all dark. It's scary out.
That's all I got.
But to that point, our buddy from Jay Birdie, it's officially out, the exhibition hat that he showed us.
Yeah,
so make sure you all check that out. Yeah. Jay Birdie Baseball Company, the Canadian baseball brand. Make sure you check it out. Really cool stuff. We had a great time talking with him, and he will definitely be back at some point here in the near future. So I feel like we barely scratched the surface in chatting baseball with that gentleman. So
he knows so much.
We got to make sure we figure it out.
So much.
So that's too much fun. We got to make it work. So, okay. On that note, Blue Jays fans, it's been a pleasure chatting baseball with you this evening. Thank you, everybody, to the almost 300 some odd people that we have in our wonderful chats between our Instagram, Twitter, everywhere on the social media fund right now. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you tune in live every week on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Okay.
Yes.
But we'll be there live. We are here to chit chat with all of you. Thank you very much for joining us. And if you missed us on the live stream, make sure you catch us wherever you get your podcasting pleasures from. We all hope you have a great night. And as always, let's go Blue Jays. Whoop.
Thank you for listening to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch at BirdWatchingGC and our YouTube channel. If you want to support the show and get extra content, please consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/birdwatchinggc. Go Jays, go.
Woo!